So today we are going to have a look at an Ableton instrument Analog, and I prepared a MIDI channel over here. I'm going to solo. I prepared those chords. We're going to play those chords. We have 5 notes in the chord, and I'm going to take this out and start from the beginning. So we go to our instruments and we select Analog first of the Ableton Suite package, and we are going to drag this onto the MIDI channel selected. Now let's turn on the volume a bit, and that's what the init patch gives us. Now let's have a look at Analog. Analog is consisting of 2 oscillators, oscillator 1, oscillator 2, and the signal flow goes from left to the right. So let's just select one oscillator. That oscillator generates the sound, then we can manipulate it over here. Afterwards, we are going to a filter section. We can filter the sound, apply some filter on top of it, and then we go to the amplifier section, and each oscillator has one filter and one amplifier on its own, and we also have LFOs for both of them. And then in the end we have global controls over here. And you notice, depending on the area where I am, this field is adjusting. It's adjusting some values towards those several instances. And let's play around a little bit over here. Oscillator 1 deactivated, we shouldn't hear any sound. We don't hear anything. Let's activate it. We have a saw wave over here. Let's put in a square wave. So now you see we can also mess around with the octave. Also we can tune. And detune a little bit. And also we can use the pitch envelop adjustment and go like this. You will see in a minute what happens here. So it's going down from the top of the possible ways of creating sound, and after a certain amount of time we can set over here, it goes to the actual note it is going to play. So that gives it a kind of analog feeling. So this is what you can do over here. Let's take it back to 0. Play it like this. Also, we have sub sync section over here. We can insert a sub oscillator if we turn up the volume and select the mode sub. See how it puts in sub frequencies in there. And also we can add some analog feeling with the sync. If you like it, you can add that in, and the key, this value over here, actually tells you how much the actual note over here played is going to be applied by the synthesizer. So if we take it to 0, we should hear always the same notes. And over here we can insert applications of the LFO, but we will do that later. So that's basically how the oscillator section is working, and we have 2 of them. So we have 2 oscillator sections, and over here we have a noise generator. So this noise generator adds in some noises. We can already hear them. Does it actually work without? Yeah. So that's what the noise generator does. And the color is actually some kind of high-cut filter. So, yeah, gives a lot of analog feeling to the sound. And let's select 2 oscillators. And go on to the filter section. Now what do we have here? We are sending the entire signal of oscillator 1 to filter 1. And over here we are sending the entire signal of the noise to filter 1. We can also mess around and turn the knob exactly the other way around. So this way we would send the entire signal, the output signal of oscillator 1 to filter 2. Or we can apply some mix of 50-50 or something. Let's stick with sending oscillator 1 to filter 1 and sending oscillator 2 to filter 2 and sending the noise to both of them equally. Now we go to the filter section. We see we have several filters available over here. We can stick with the 24 dB per octave low pass filter for the minute. We are basically copying what this filter does to filter 2 at the moment. And that's the frequency at which the filter is operating at the moment. In this area over here we have the envelopes, and with the envelopes we can really manipulate a lot of the modulation of the sound. So let's try to make a quick walkthrough over here. Attack velocity, this switch, if we put up this value over here, the attack is shorter for higher velocity. So let's take down the velocity of those notes over here. The one of those. And now let's go and apply this heavily. So now it should have a shorter attack for higher velocities. But we need to make the attack a little longer first. And turn this off maybe. So you see, this is actually working. So we turn it off. We can mess around now a little bit over here. By pulling up the decay, we are actually generating a pad sound. Sustain, as always, long sustain values. If we put up the sustain to 1, we are actually skipping the decay. So this is what we have here. Then we can change the slope of the curve of the envelope to a linear curve. Or we have an exponential curve over here. If we put legato on, we start with with the next note, we will start at the current position we are at. So that's what legato does over here. Free skips the decay phase of the decay time for equally long notes, and is usable if you want to make some percussive elements with this analog synthesizer. And if we put on loop with attack, decay, release, attack, decay, sustain, it will, for long notes, it will repeat the envelope on a long note. So that's a pretty interesting effect sometimes as well. Those are the filter options over here. Now we can go to the amplifier. What does the amplifier do? We can increase the volumes of the two oscillators. We can also change the panning, and we can again manipulate the envelopes. And basically apply the same parameters to the amplifier as we applied to the filter. And now it's getting more interesting with the LFOs. If we put on the LFO and we select the note mode, and for example we take 1/8 D or T, we notice nothing is happening. Why is nothing happening? Because we need to activate the LFO at the position we want to have it. We could activate the LFO over here in the oscillator section and apply it on the pitch. That doesn't sound too cool over here, so let's go to the filter and activate it in the frequency modulation. Actually sounds a lot better than the first one. Let's try the resonance. Yeah, that's the resonance knob of the filter frequency. And you can also modulate this with the LFO, but it's not really too nice with that sound over here. And you can also use the LFO here in the panning and in the level of the amplifier. So if we use it on the panning, if you are on your headphones, you should notice it right away now. And it's skipping from left to right. And from right to left. And in the level, it's just like somebody turning up the volume knob very quickly, up and down. So I would use it on the frequency here, and maybe nice sound. Maybe we could like select the wave of the LFO as well, sinus, trident, triangle, rectangular, noise, and noise 1 and noise 2. Rectangular looks like triangle, looks like this, and you can actually like manipulate it in that way. Now it looks like a saw, again like a saw wave. And you can put it to 50% and have a triangle. We can also delay it. So we first want to listen to the notes, and then later we want to have LFOs applied. sometimes that's a pretty cool effect on a bass, for example. And yeah, you can mess around with this as well. You can also use a second LFO for your second oscillator. I'm going to skip this now, but you see the logic will be the same in here. And now let's go to the global settings and see we have a global volume knob over here adjusting everything we are sending to it. And we can we see this also changing over here, this if you go to this section. And we can have some quick routing options over here. So do you want to have it parallel? This would be oscillator 1 sending to filter 1, sending to amplifier 1, sending to the globals. This would be oscillator 1 being sent through this chain and oscillator 2 being sent up here and this way. And this would be both being sent their own ways, and that would be mixed routing settings over here. So you can quickly apply those if you want to, and they won't change the values in here. So if I click on, for example, if I click on this, you see the values aren't changing, like the frequency stays the same. You notice right away we can also go back to LFO over here and apply a little more attack in our LFO application, because it hits after 1 second. It becomes pretty noticeable in there. And sometimes it's even skipping. So let's put up some milliseconds of attack here. I'm turning off the LFO for a second, and I'm just using the vibrator over here, and let's see what it does. Seems to be doing nothing, so let's put up the amount. 57 was a nice value. Rate is setting the speed of your vibrato, and this is the amount of vibrato we are using. If you turn it up too much, it sounds pretty weird. At those values above 50, they sound pretty nice. And now we can go ahead and do the same thing with the delaying and attacking of the vibrato, and let's say we delay it for half a second, play the notes first, and have the attack swoosh it in a little smoother. So you notice how it comes later, how it comes in there a little later. You can also put in some random errors into your vibrato, and also into other things, like in the keyboard section over here from the global mode. We can adjust the voicing and also the octave being played overall. Semitones, detuning, same thing you could do over here. You could do overall for everything over here. And also if you have voices selected too, and we actually have like 5 playing at a time, it has to select 2 of them, and the priority tells you which ones are going to be selected. So let's see, we select 2 voices and we go high. We go low. last. Well, last doesn't make too much sense because they are ending all of them at the same time, so it won't be able to pick that pretty good. So let's leave it this way. And we also have a unison knob over here in the global controls. If we turn that on, you see this is getting activated. If we don't have color over here, something is not active. So unison stacks several voices for a note. And you can also put on delay over there, and you can detune that pretty much as well. So you're getting a broader spread sound with this unison. And we also have a glider over here that's turning on the glide or portamento sliding from note to note. We should go to a section where we have single notes. So let's play those 4. You see it's gliding around. And if we put on the legato over there, it will work for overlapping, for this kind of overlap. But we need to. So over here you can see if you put on legato and you have an overlap, you can select the time and how much time it's going to spend to actually like go from this note to that note. For example, if we put this up here. So that's what this is doing over here. And also what is happening here, we have the pitch bend range. You can select how much your pitch wheel is going to skip the notes. So over here 2 is 2 semitones, and you can drag that up to 12. Let's go back to 2. With the stretch tuning, you're getting more analog, shiny sound. We need to get the voicing back to 12 or 8. 8 should be enough as well. And you notice analog doesn't really have effects inside, but that's what we have the audio effects in Ableton for. So if this sounds too mono for you and what you want to do, you can always plug on a chorus and apply it slightly. And you're getting immediately wide pad sound. You could also go ahead and use a compressor and sidechain it to your sidechain kick and take down the threshold a little bit, take up the ratio. Yeah, analog works really nice for those sounds in the bass frequencies. I really like it over there. You can take up the noises and get it really sounding like some analog synth. Also, it's possible to make nice analog sounding bass sounds with it. Like I prepared this one over here. We have basically a sinus and a saw wave together. I hope you understood a little bit more the functionalities of analog, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. We are going to prepare some presets for the Ableton Suite instruments as well, for analog and for operator, for example. We're going to package them together to an Ableton Suite preset pack. We are still working on it, but it will contain like sounds like analog bass sounds, for example. And also, if you're wondering what this drumming was, it's basically just a kick out of our D Premium package. It's kick number 2, and it's playing in 4 to the floor notes, and we have a percussive sound out of the percussion section over here as well. Where are those? Oh, in the dry percussive 14 over here, pitched up 1 semitone. Offbeat hi-hat and quick closed 005 hi-hats. That's how you get a basic beat, and you can get this a D Premium package as well from if you check the description. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and start using analog. And it's basically it's a really nice synthesizer as well, and it's built in Ableton, so you don't need third-party plugins to achieve nice analog bass sound. And see you next time. Bye.